All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Todd Collins. I am known as the leader of the Todd Father team here with 7K Metals. I've had the distinct pleasure for the last 2.5-ish years to have been acquainted with my co-host Bob Reid, who really is my mentor. When I joined 7K Metals, like a lot of you, I knew I needed to buy silver and gold. I knew there was an income opportunity. Along the way, I decided that I actually wanted to do network marketing full time, which is something I used to kind of think was sort of taboo between me and the lamppost. And I didn't think that business had a place for me. I was always an outside sales guy and did well in the different careers that I had. But when I looked at network marketing and that ability for that every week or every month for a paycheck to come in, that residual income thing, which is a foreign phrase to me, because every month I had to get up and try and make quota again at my old jobs. And I had a lot of pressure on me to be able to provide for my family. And if something fell through, a big deal that I was working on was a really skinny month. And that was really hard. And right now, with our economy doing some of the things that it is, we have people every day pretty much communicating that they're struggling financially. Our friends, our family, our loved ones, co-workers, as the economy continues to tighten up and people's incomes and disposable incomes aren't what they were just a few short years ago, more and more people are looking for, how do I create that other income stream? How do I do this network marketing thing? And unequivocally, Bob Reid is probably, if not the number one income earner in the history of network marketing. He's way up there with them. Bob will let you give your pedigree here in a minute for the people who don't know you. But Bob has very graciously agreed to teach this entire organization that's my team, the greater PSI team, the greater Bob Reid team, the Hawaii team. Bob's going to talk about different teams that are represented here tonight. We've opened this up because Bob really wants to be able to hand the baton off of how to do this networking marketing business to this next generation, you and me. And Bob's made a great living for a great number of years in the industry. And when he grabbed me back in, I think it was September of 2022, and said, Todd, slow down, you're doing it all wrong. I didn't know what the heck I was doing right, didn't know what I was doing wrong, but I decided to shut up and listen to this guy. And had I not done that, I am confident I would not be sitting here with the business and 7K Metals today. And it definitely wouldn't have sustained what we worked so hard to build had I not relied on Bob and learned the business the way Bob has taught it. And I'm excited to go back to the basics, the 101s in network marketing, and let Bob show me the ropes again. Coming from a different space now, I'm going to hear things differently. And whether you're hearing Bob for the first time or you've been on Bob's calls for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years with 7K Metals, I promise you're going to come away tonight with some great nuggets. Thank you all for being here very much. I greatly appreciate it. And I will now stop talking and give the floor to my mentor and very good friend, Bob Reid.
Hey, thank you, Todd. I really appreciate that. It's quite an introduction. I just hope I can live up to all that. Uh, I think most of the people know me. I won't take a long time in introducing myself. I'm 77 years young. Uh, I come from the corporate world, chemical engineering, and master's in business administration, both from LSU. Uh, I resigned the corporate world in 1994 after starting network marketing part time in 1991. And actually, I didn't replace my income, which is a mistake. You replace your income before you resign. So I just want to get that straight for everyone right now. And but one thing it did do me, it made me learn how to do this industry because I needed to provide a way for my family to maintain the same standard of living that we had when I was in the corporate world. And I was in the top 1% income earners at that time when I left network marketing. Well, I got into gold and silver in 1996, a network marketing company with Richard Wayne Hansen. And I, I built an organization of over 70,000 people in less than 3 years and uh, made millions per year, earned a lot of gold, a lot of silver. I, you know, that company didn't have a residual. It was quite different, more little simplistic, but we have the same model in 7K, except better. We have a residual. And and we have a comp plan that actually will pay you a lot more in it if one takes the time to understand. And what I want to do with our company at 7K is I joined this company when I was 70, and just to teach people about getting gold and silver, protecting their wealth, and accumulating wealth while they produced a secondary income. And if they were really interested, they could develop a legacy income, an income that they could pass down in a business for their generations. And here we are a little more than 7 years later with me. And the company has grown and positioned itself to be one of the largest network marketing gold and silver companies ever in the history. Not just network marketing, but actually a disruptor in this old staid marketplace that typically takes advantage of older people. And the whole industry that of gold and silver has never really been available to the average guy and gal. What they had to learn about it, most of the time they learned through hard knocks and took a lot of losses, and people weren't willing to do that. None of you, listen to this statement, not any of you were ever taught anything about gold and silver in all your years of education. Not one single thing. In fact, you were told not to buy gold and silver, not a good investment, while all of them maintain at least 10% of their net worth or 10% of their investment portfolio in gold and silver. Now, why wouldn't they tell you that? Why do all the banks and countries always have gold and silver? Why do always super wealthy have gold and silver? It's God's money. And throughout history, if we know the truth about gold and silver is the only sustainable currency that has ever survived all countries, all turmoils, and everything always restarts with gold and silver, or it retools off of gold and silver. So those who have it are in a very good position. Those who do not have it are not in quite as good a position. So my job here tonight is to teach you how to succeed in network marketing, because we have the greatest gold and silver network marketing company that's ever been in existence. And it's firmly established as a company. It's all of its assets, its headquarters, its private vaults, its separate businesses, all 100% paid for. They don't owe a penny on it. And then we've got all the countries in the world to grow in. In fact, they're just touching their toe into Europe now in 4 of the major markets: Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Liechtenstein, the German-based speaking countries. But Europe is twice the market that the US is. But why? You say, well, what's that mean to me? Well, here's the key. With our comp plan, you have infinity on your left, infinity on your right. And I do want to share something tonight in the basics of network marketing. Everyone is only 5 people removed from anyone in the world in a first level nation. I'm not talking about in the jungles of the forest. I'm talking about in a nation that is established, that is running. Everyone knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone in any of those countries, the countries we're going to be opening in. So that means, yes, you too can have a global business because someone's going to know someone who does it. You don't have to know anyone personally. So I want to get right to the mechanics, because we're positioned now in 7 years to really explode this marketplace all around the globe. And it just depends on you and me. So what does it take to be successful? Number one, it takes a commitment. And I'm going to show some things I always show, but why shouldn't I? Because it's a system I created back in the 90s, and it's been always successful. And it's my success system. But I want you to then, I'm going to give you the tools that are applicable to what we're doing. Now, my tools are applicable in any network marketing business. And I have proteges that work with me as young people, and they're top of their companies right now. In fact, I spoke with one today. He called me up. He always likes to talk to me. I love talking with him. And he was just in college at the time. And he and his mom were in my first gold and silver business with me. But he always did the things necessary, which most people don't do. So let me share my screen and let's get right to it, because I want to make this as short and as quick as possible tonight with as much meat that you need. So I'm not going to go through my training as I normally do, but what I want to do right now is get the essentials. First of all, this is not a get rich quick thing. And if you think it's a get rich quick, then you're in the wrong place. Okay. Now, some people will succeed a lot faster than others, and that's okay. But the key is, can all of you succeed? And I say you can, if you just stick to the basics. And what are the basics? Number one, you realize that this one piece of paper, I want you to go over with everyone you personally sponsor and have them agree with you that anything in life you got to learn. Whatever they do, whatever profession they're in, whatever trade they do, everything has to be learned. And in this industry, it takes specific skills, attitudes, and techniques, those SATs, just like we had to take an SAT to get into college. Okay. We have to learn those. But here's the great thing. We get to earn while we learn. When you're going to college or trade school, you have to pay to go to those things. Well, our admission fee is your membership fee, okay, and your cost, ongoing cost is buying your coin every month, okay. That keeps your business operating. You don't need to know, well, is it worth this, worth that? None of that matters. It just is the fuel for your business to keep it operating. It's like rent or electricity bill. Okay. And so if you'll notice at the bottom here, I tell you the essence that all networking direct sales companies, all these statistics have been going on for over 75 years. Well, it takes a person to make contact with 15 new people every week if you want to be at that top income level, succeeding after years of doing your network marketing company. And many of you saying right now, oh, gee, well, I can't contact 15 people. Well, you just stopped your ability to succeed in this business. See, that's one of those attitudes. Okay. You got to allow yourself this 2 years before you ever entertain a thought like that in your brain. Allow yourself 2 years to graduate. Now, what do you got to do in those 2 years? Well, I give you a job description. Makes it very simple. First, you got to commit 10 hours a week working at this business the way I tell you to work. Okay, you're going to contact, I'm not asking you to do 15 people a day or 30 people a day like I tell some people who have already skills, attitudes, and techniques, and they're ready to blow and go. Okay, and I've told a few people that, and they have succeeded, and I can name them for you. Okay, but what I want you to do is learn how to expose the business, expose it, make an exposure, make a peak interest. I don't care what you call it, but I call it touches. Okay, to 5 people a day. That's 25 in a week. And so if you build the business the way I teach you, and you make a list of 100 people and you put it down on paper, you get a spiral notebook, you put one name at the top of each blank page, and you write in their phone number and write in their email and put their address down. And so this is the part that most people don't do. They don't do this part. And this is why people don't succeed. You must do this. Yeah, it's all in your phone, but I want you to transcribe it to phone to paper. Okay. Now, if you're one of these persons who can do everything on the computer with spreadsheets and all that, and you keep it up, then fine, you can do that. I'm not. Okay. I'm an old paper guy. And most people I know are paper people. Okay. And this system works. So if you haven't done that, you must do this. Now, if we're making 25 contacts in a week, we're going to go through that list of 100 real fast. And that's what we want to do, because we're looking for people who are looking. We're not trying to convince them. Our first pass is looking for people who are looking. So it should not take you more than 30 minutes to do this. Now, you're going to do a combination of follow-up and peaks once you get through your entire list. The other thing, in this 2-year period, you're going to build that list of 100 to 500 people. And I'm going to teach that all over again this year. I'm going to specific teaching on list building, how to do it. I'm not going to do it here tonight, but you've got to build that list to 500, because this is the part of the putting the people in the pipeline and then having a proper follow-up system, as you always will meet new people to add to your list. So this is only about 30 minutes where you're working on building your list, and you're going to put about 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week, to doing this. I don't ask you to work 7 days a week, just 5. You're going to watch not only the videos of the company, so you know the products, what the company's teaching is, what the company's training is, but I'm going to ask you specifically to watch my training, which is provided for you. 1 video a day. Now, this is going to take you about an hour in most cases. So I want to spend you about it. So we got an hour here, and you attend an opportunity meeting and a training. Okay. If you don't have an opportunity meeting, you're going to start one in your own home. Okay. Because most of our meetings start in our own home to begin the business with a business launch. We're going to launch it with your very warmest market, your family, and the ones that are always tell you no about everything. And that's okay. We're giving them first chance to say no. And they're part of the prospect list. And you must do that to succeed, because they will join. Most of them will join you later in life or later in the course of you doing the business. Now, we've already put together about an hour here, an hour here. That's 2 hours. Now, a lot of follow-up's going to take place. So you've got a lot of slack here to actually do a presentation. We want to try to get to 1 to 3 presentations where we're sitting with the person, we're answering a question, or we're doing a Zoom with them. Now we have new technology. We don't have to travel. We can actually Zoom into one another and have multiple ways to do it. We can even do it through WhatsApp now. And that's going to be a great thing for international, by the way. So I'm going to just give a little tidbit on that one. So this is the key, is this job description. And if you're not doing it, I don't care if you've been in the business for 3 years, 5 years, or even 7 years with me. If you haven't done this, tonight is your first night that you're starting your business. Give yourself 2 years now. You earn while you learn. You accumulate wealth while you're doing it. How much better? And you get 1099 tax benefits if you still have a W-2 job. That's pretty powerful. Okay. Now, you've got to have time for your organization to build past just you and the first one on your left and first one on your right. But here's the key. This is what you build in an organization. And with our comp plan, you only have to have 1 partner anywhere on this left team that you personally enroll, and 1 partner anywhere on this left team that you personally enroll. And when this team develops, if you're duplicating the same thing that I'm teaching here tonight, you will drive a team and will build a team because they know different people than you. You work off that top 25, hot 50 on that the first 3, 4, 5 days in the business, but you got to have a partner to work with. Okay. If you're doing it all yourself, that's going to be very difficult. That's why this is a one another business. So you're going to have a partner, or you're going to have to get a partner, but you got to have someone in your upline that's working with you so that you can do proper follow-up and proper three-ways to build your business, because none of you know enough about how to do it, and you don't want to be the expert answering all the questions. You want somebody else giving testimonies and answering questions instead of yourself. That way the prospect gets to say, well, I don't have to learn all that. All they did was touch me. All they did was pique my interest. That's just what their brain tells them. And then somebody else does all the things, and I'm going to have the same thing, so I can do this. See, that's the atmosphere that you've got to present to that new prospect. Okay, then you can have exponential expansion work for you. You find your two, you help them find their two, you help them find their two through this process. And that one person you're working with somewhere in your upline, your support team, I call it a support team, okay? But it's someone else that has a little bit more knowledge than any of you. And then we're going to cascade this and duplicate this throughout that entire organization. And I'll teach you another word called leapfrogging. And that's where the most experienced person, the person that's trying to drive and build their business, well, that's what I did. I leapfrogged because we brought in people in the team and brought more people in the team. I was part of that process, doing three ways with them. If that person didn't have time to work with them, I leapfrogged over. I worked with the most interested, the most dynamic, the most person willing to follow the instructions and do the simple things and get their list to 25, make the 5 calls a day. Let's sit down. I work with them, and then I'm meeting all new people, and I'm leapfrogging down through the organization. It's called driving your lines. You only have 2 to drive, one on your left, one on your right. I don't care where they are, left or right of those other people. I'm finding the most interested people to work with, the most engaged people to do this with. And that's what you will be doing when you learn how to do this and you do it together. Well, if this took you 12 years for you to end up with 4,000 people in your organization, 2,000 on the left, 2,000 on the right. Well, what if only 1,000 of them are buying that coin once a month on the left team and the right team? That's 20 points times 1,000. That's 20,000 points in a month. And we all know they don't buy the coin on the same day. They have different days, the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, the 21st, and the 26th, 5 different days. So divide that by 4. That's 5,000 points in a week coming up. Well, if you just got one on the left, one on the right, all you're going to make is $500. But you'll have points there to motivate you to rank up, to help somebody else rank up. And you become a copper, you've got 1,000. When you become a bronze, you got 2,000 a week. That's a 6-figure income. When you become a silver, and you still have enough points. That's $3,500 a week. When you become a gold, okay, now you get to make your 5,000 a week, because you can make 7, but you don't have that many points yet. Your organization's got to grow more, and you got to help more people grow. This is a simple concept. People helping people do what they've already accomplished. See, you don't have to learn how to become a presidential goal. You ascend to it through success. And you have already become a copper. You can teach your associates how to become a copper. You can help them do that. So this is a one another business. And what better business is there than helping people secure the wealth that they've worked hard for all their lives, and it's falling through their fingers because of inflation? And we all know that's a reality. And is it going to get better, or is it going to get worse? Well, what if it gets worse, is my question. Everybody needs to own some gold and silver. We also need to become very good question askers instead of information givers. When they ask us questions, we learn how to ask questions back. One of those techniques that you got to master, you can only master by doing and failing. Oh, yes. Did I mention that success in network marketing is one of the only businesses that I know of that you fail your way to success, much like some of our great inventors in our times, Thomas Edison, Ben, yeah, all of our inventors failed so many times before they hit upon their discovery that had many different impacts in changing our whole world. But you got to fail, and it's okay to fail because you're going to fail your way to success. Just remember, you won't always fail. You're going to get better and better at it. And there's no business that I know that you can start for under $1,000 and you can turn it into a six-figure income in less than 10 years. And many people can do that. Many people have done it. Thousands of people have made millions in it. Well, this is one industry that's possible in. So these little 7 pieces of paper is my success system, but it's not the system actually in how to in building. We're going to touch on that in a minute. But you got to keep the proper attitude at all times in your life, especially in a network marketing business, because you're going to have so many people with such sour, distasteful attitudes and objections that you've got to be able to fight through that barrier. And we as a team have to help one another. When our partners, our team members get down, we got to remind them, are they watching, are they reading this attitude by Chuck Swindoll every day to start their day? That's why I ask you to put it in that first 2 years on your bathroom mirror, on your refrigerator. 2 most common places do. Start your day off reading it. If you get that stinking thinking going on, run, go read it again. Just slow down, take a breath, go read it. You'd be amazed what it does for you in your posture, in your mindset. And that's important in this business. Some of those techniques, some of those attitudes, see, skills, attitudes, techniques. Now, when you get these 3 beliefs, belief in the profession, networking, belief in the business building system that you're taught, that's what we're going to go. We're going to talk about this system real quick tonight, because this is where we're all going to start on. The company has the tools for us now. The company has gone through this big remodeling of our technical base and all the restructuring they need to do to separate 3 total businesses. Now we're ready to explode this company around the globe. So when you get these 3 beliefs in you, like I have in me, and you believe that you can do this, then you will succeed. See, as long as you believe you can't do this, guess what? You can. I promise you. Now, the simple building system, it's very simple. It's a 1, 2, 3 system. Okay. I want you to have all these papers are available in the app. Okay. You can download them. Every one of those 7 pieces of paper right there. Download them, print them out. So is this. And so is my new onboarding, the checklist for getting onboarded for a new person. And basically, it's this simple. You got to have a website walkthrough. You got to set up your accounts. You got to get your Sound Money Wallet account set up. You got to get your 7K Advantage set up so you can use it. You got to get your 7K Wealth System set up. And of course, you got to know how to navigate your back office and understand a little bit about the Downline Explorer. You don't have to understand a lot because you're just the new person just getting started. So they could be doing this as part of that 10 hours, but the main thing is getting their account set up and getting them established. So their accounts are set up, they can log into them, and they know how to, now we're ready to go. And we got to get going that first week they're in this business. We don't want to wait 2, 3, 4 weeks to start from the day they start. No, we want to engage. And the person that's working with them is the person that pushes that engagement. Okay. They got to have their top 25 to 50 people real quick. And they know who they are. They're right here in this phone. and just put them to a list. That will not take time. If the person's excited, wants to do this, they're going to do that. If they're not excited, they're not going to do it. Who do you work with? You work with those who are excited to build and grow and want and have a why. Mm-hmm. This is not difficult here. Now, do I see a lot of changing coming? No. But what I want all of you to become right now, the first thing I want you to become after you get your accounts done, many of you already got that, but many of you haven't done the list. And I know you haven't done them because I've asked people to show them to me. Okay. You got to do the list. You got to do the list building. You got to learn how to add to it every day. Then I want you all to become experts in prospecting. And Eric War has the simplest, easy read, little quick, short. Man, I don't care if you have to read this 50 times in the first 6 weeks. Read it until maybe you can recite it. Because this is that skill that you've got to master. This right here. Now, he gives you scripts. He gives you examples. He gives you the before, the after, what you do in the warm market, what you do in the cold market. Now, I can give you Randy Gages. I can give you Kalishes. I can give you a whole bunch of others that I have. But here's the key. I know Eric Wars is real simple. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything except your time. And I know his works. And so does Ryan Chamberlain's Words That Work. And that training is in your back office, in your training center. You can actually listen to it over and over, Ryan Chamberlain. But I'm wanting you to listen to my training too, because I'm going to train all of it, handling objections, prospecting, building, the whole 9 yards you're going to get in that two years. But these are available to you in the downloads in the band apps. So everybody can get them. And if no one knows how to get it, just ask someone in your team. Somebody will help somebody get it there. But then these are 3 little handouts. But I've also put in now, I have modified Eric's scripts to fit our business. And these are the ones I want you to use. Now, do I want you to use all of these scripts? No. For you that are just engaging in a business, just really starting, or maybe you already have people on your left and right team, but you're really not doing this the right way, and your team's not doing it the right way. You got to all get on board doing the same thing. Everything has to be duplicatable and simple. And every new person has to be able to grasp this and do it too. So you pick your 5 scripts, you stick with that for the next 6 weeks, minimum. Don't judge them. Oh, it's not working there. No, your job is just to make those touches and hook them up with a follow-up with a 3-way. And you're going to have somebody, and you don't have to have somebody you don't have to have Bob Reid on every 3-way. You don't have to have Todd on every 3-way. You don't have to have Wayne Clark on every 3-way. You don't have to have Gary. You don't have to have all the leaders that are in this business. You don't have to have them. You just have to have somebody that knows how to tell their story. And bingo, I just hit a word for you. That's that training I'm going to give. And we're going to give some real training. I've already started in several groups. How to do your story. It's got to be less than 90 seconds, a maximum of 120 seconds. Maybe you just joined the business 6 months ago. You joined to get some gold and silver and learn about it. Well, you got some gold and silver in your hand. You may have not even made a check. But my name is John. I joined 7K because I know I needed some gold and silver. I've never been taught anything about it. Now, here I've got so many ounces of gold, so many ounces of silver, dollars worth of it. And, I really want to make a business out of this. So I've got in my stacking cell, I have so many coins and they have a market value of this. All I want so many coins and a market value. So what if your market value went down? When you buy a new house or buy a new car, can you sell it for the same thing you bought it for the day you bought it? No. See, attitudes, learning. You got to understand collectible products, they don't just gain value overnight. It takes time for collectible products to gain value. But that's part of diversification. You're going to learn a lot in these things. Quit judging stuff. Quit making decisions on information you don't really know a lot about. Give yourself 2 years, 2 years to learn how to succeed with assets, with things you're collecting, things you've never had, things you need, assets, gold and silver. And the collectibles are diversification of your precious metals portfolio. And you've all heard you got to have diversification. Well, this is just a process that lets you do that. So we're going to jump to that story because, see, we're going to use that it's less than 5 minutes. It's 4 minutes and 44 seconds. So just put it down. That's the only video you're going to share. And in your peak interest, you're going to use one of these scripts to work with that you really like. And you can use it for cold market and warm market. We got them both in here. So you can pick out your scripts for cold market and pick out your scripts for the warm market. But always work your warm market first. Go through the entire list first. Go ahead and let them say no. They're in your pipeline. They're part of that follow-up that we're going to do. And I'm going to teach you how to make a program. If you got it written, you'll have a list that you work on, that you're on that 5 a day. You may just be sending some follow-ups and you go through the list. Now, you're not bugging them every day. See, they're getting something maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks from you. That's kind of fine. You're not being a pest, but you're giving them information. And they're not likely to turn you off or block you if you do it in this format. You're going to have to learn how to follow up without being a pest. Persistence, but not a pest. And then you're going to have that other person on that three-way, maybe that second time when you're following up after you do that first follow-up, and our question to them with someone on there too. We're going to always ask them what you like best about what you saw on that video. What did you like best about what you saw on that video? That is the only question you ask them first. Okay? If they're not really going to lie to you, if they're going to say, well, be honest with you, I hadn't watched the video. Well, then you're going to say, look, it's only 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Do you have 5 minutes right now? Will you watch it? I'm going to call you back in 10. Okay? You call them back in 10 minutes. You still have that person on the line. They didn't even know you had somebody else on the line because they didn't speak because of that first thing. So we're going to go through much of those techniques and trainings, how to do each one of these steps over this next couple of weeks and months. Then we're going to do that other testimony, because now you got to have somebody following up with you the next time, because when they have questions, you're going to say, oh, I understand how you feel. I had some of the same question. Look, I got a quick executive summary video I'm going to send to you, but it's about 17 minutes long. When can you watch it? Get a time, get a date, and then set the follow-up, and then I'll call you back and we can go over any questions you might have and give you the rest of the details that's I'm so excited about. See, you got to let them know there's more to come than that 17-minute video. But what is that? That's our comp plan. That's what it is. How they can make money, because they can't see that in that 17-minute video. Okay? So we have to get an appointment to set up, and we got to have somebody that has success, somebody that's earned income, somebody that has got some stacks of silver and gold and has some valuations in it. Now, I've got some testimonies I put in a band app for it. I've been getting people to do this, but we're going to get all as a whole team. We're going to get very proficient at this, giving a quick testimony, okay, about what you and what your experience is, all in a positive manner, no qualifying manner, no qualifying words. That's not a positive testimony, okay?
There we go. And I said to her, Bonnie, the one, because I'm not that good at the game.
Yeah. So what I want to do right now is go to that final step. And that final step is that three-way, bringing them to a presentation, a Zoom meeting, setting up those follow-ups. And we're step 1, step 4-minute and 44-second video. Step 2 is going to be the 17-minute video or a Zoom presentation, one of the two, or a meeting, personal, one-on-one through Zoom, or a personal home meeting or business office meeting, where we get to engage with the person on a personal basis and answer questions. And most of that is done with a three-way. It's not you, unless you're already successful. Oh, the leaders can do it. I don't have anybody to do a three-way with. I only have my sponsor, Richard Wayne Hansen, okay, but he's an owner, so can't really do that anymore. But it's okay. I use other people's stories on that first time, other than just mine. So I use other people in that three-way too. And so I want you to learn how to do these steps. Simple. Keep it simple. Don't make this hard, because it's not hard. And if you would just stick to these basics, no matter what, all your time in doing this business, you will eventually benefit from what we call the law of numbers. And I want to share with you one last little statement by someone we all know. His name is Steve Jobs. And it's so profound. I had one of my proteges that is the top of his company right now. And he learned my system. He built my system. He built it in another company. And we were talking today. And he shared this with me. And I said, send that to me. That is so apropos. And he said, this is what I learned from you, Bob. And it all just came together when I read this. I said, you know, this is what is important. Listen what Steve Jobs said. That's been one of my mantras. Focus and simplicity. Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. But it's worth it in the end, because once you get there, you can move mountains. And that's what I'm sharing with you. Each and every one of you can do this. Keep it simple. Stick to the job description. Stick to the very simple things I've showed you tonight. Don't get all confused. New coin this, new coin that. Those are all just added benefits. Those are just flavors. Those are things that we can use for follow-ups on those follow-up lists. Keep this to the basics all the time. All the time. Todd, I'm going to turn it back to you, brother, because I will put up one last screen, but I really have said everything that needs to be said with what we need to do. We got to stick to the simple basics of this business and just rank right up through this process over the years as your business expands around the globe. And since I did kind of talk about money a little bit. We always have to put up our income disclosures and encourage people to go read the income disclosures about the company and where we at and what we're doing. And I encourage everybody to do that. Todd, back to you, brother.
Thank you, Bob. That was absolutely fantastic. Man, there's so much in the meat of those 7 pieces of paper. I know you could probably, and I hope you will, keep coming back over the next few weeks and months to kind of break down the nitty gritty each one of those things. Maybe you and I can role play a little bit on some, how that prospecting call literally sounds live, and do some of the other basic fundamental things. But this is a recording that I don't even know what that was, about 45 minutes. If everybody in here could just go through that and start implementing those basic things. And, Bob said some things tonight that I've heard before. But one of the things I've never done, and I'm gonna sit here and be real transparent with all you guys, I am not a paper person. I have everything in my phone. My brain works. I don't like paper, to be honest, Bob, no offense. But you know what? Doesn't hurt to get a ream of paper and try something a little bit different to expand your thinking and try to learn some new techniques. Because even a seasoned pro salesperson, I got a lot of room for improvement. And the prospecting 5 people a day, trying to make those contacts happen, doing the follow-ups the easy way, little short sentences, so many little things there, Bob, that they're just little skill sets that everybody needs to try and focus on a little bit at a time. And like you said, that may be overwhelming to, hear 15 people a day or, 5 people a day or whatever. That's a lot of people for some people. But like you said, you're limiting yourself. If you stick right there, that's something I can't do. What's that adage? You probably could say it better than me. I think it's a Jim Rohn. If you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. And if you look back at 2023, we just closed the books on that one. Most of us are looking at our W-2s and tax returns and all the things going, man, I hate how much money I gave the IRS. Hate it. And I haven't yet to have anybody ever call me up and say, Todd, I love how much money I'm sending to the IRS this year, or my refund got less than it ever has been before. And I'm happy about that. Those conversations don't happen, do they?
No, that's true. And
Yeah.
you know what, Todd? You're exactly right. We're going to come back because I put in there many things that we're going to go in and hone in and concentrate on. And I don't want even the person to fear that 5 a day. Do 1 a day. If they do 1 a day, that's 5 a week. That's 15 to 20 a month. That's what network marketing statistics say a person needs to do multiple years in a row, and then they will have success.
Yep.
So that's why that first piece of paper at the bottom, it says 15. That's not my numbers. Those come from the direct selling industry of those that have succeeded, the top 20% in network marketing. That's what they averaged and did. That's where those numbers come from.
Yeah.
And we're gonna concentrate on how to do that. We're gonna have role play. We're gonna have trainings on that. We're gonna do very specific training that fit our time, where we're at right now, and our business right now, and the tools that we have right now. And we're gonna top that training. Then we're going to top how to do your story and put your story together. We're going to have people doing their story. Then how do you do that first 3-way? Let's role play on that. Then we're going to do how you do that second 3-way. The most important 3-way is that second one, because that's the closing 3-way in most cases.
Yeah.
Now, some people are going to be surprised. Some people are going to want to join just with that 4-minute and 44-second video. If you do enough exposures, and they won't have many questions. The key is learning how not to, when somebody's ready to enroll, you shut up and enroll them. I've seen so many people talk people out of it by giving more information. We got to learn these things. So you're absolutely right. That's why we set up these Thursday nights, and we're going to do it every Thursday night. We're going to have new peak. Well, we're going to have concentrated training, and our whole group's going to be invited to these. And people tell people about it. Yeah, we'll record them, but you get the best thing, because our Q&A that we have even tonight it's going to be separate on this record. We can't lock it into this recording.
Nope.
That has to be separate.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll stop the
And-
recording here in a minute. We'll turn that back on for Q&A. By the way, a couple of you guys raised your hands along the way, and I put your hand down. We're just going to let Bob get through all the material, and we'll do Q&A, as he just said, here in just a minute. So unless you have something else to add right now, Bob, I'll go ahead and stop this recording. We can start the next Q&A or the Q&A in just a second. Is that good? All right.
You got it.